that's turned off, but there you go. Bim, guess what? We're live. It's 1 minute past 10, and we are. I don't know what happened there. Not changed anything. Why was that not on? Anyway, the reason I've got this thing here, it's real uncomfortable to be fair, is because we've got an issue with the what's it called? Thing. I can't do this to be fair. It's just horrible. It's really hurting my neck, so I'm going to get rid of that. That there, no, that there, just horrible. So I've got an idea. Alright, okay, that didn't work, did it? I thought it might be invisible because it's green, but it's not green enough, apparently. What's going on here? It sounds like I'm at the old thing. Anyway, as I was saying, oh God, hiya Angela, hiya Alan. Yeah, okay, we're back on. Yeah, that is much better. I was kind of crooked forward like that. So yeah, we're going to look at the news this week. I almost agree with Kia. Is it the other way around? I wondered if people had got tickets for something that may or may not have been occurring. It's split up into a few different things. We've got the first section, which is where I look at the week's news on a day-by-day basis. Then we've got the news that makes you go and all that kind of stuff. And then you've got the breaking news, which is the weather's crap. Apparently, it's going to get worse over the next few days. So there you go then. Laney's on as well. Hello, Laney. How are you? Hope you're good. So, shall we crack on with the news, with my rather crappy thing. I'm going to buy some lighting from Amazon, just to see if it makes it better. Yeah, basically, that back wall there used to be a curtain, but it wasn't very good, so I got rid of it and painted the wall green. Yeah, it's even worse now. Anyway, we are off ski. So, let's look at the news of the week. What's going on here? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, what's been going on this week in the news? Everyone's just saying hello to Lainey. She's been AWOL, but she's back now. So Monday, the 26th of August, Sven-Göran Eriksson passed away. It was announced at the age of 76 after a battle with cancer. He was the first ever non-English coach of the England football team, and had some pretty good success. In fact, probably laid the foundations for where the England football team is now, if truth be known. He also was a lifelong fan of Liverpool Football Club, but never managed them. But the Liverpool Football Club let him manage the a charity team that was out, and he had a massive response from the COP and everywhere else in the Liverpool ground, and it was quite moving, really. He also had an affair with Ulrika Johnson, so yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it? Jealous not. There's a huge fire at some flats in London. They were being in the process of having cladding removed. I remember the Grenfell fire, which is quite a number of years ago now, which is quite scary. There were 45 engines turned up, and 2 people were injured. The fire started around about 2 AM, so most people would have been in bed at that time. The devastation was quite thorough as well with the flats. And then there was another flat fire in another block of flats somewhere else in London, although it wasn't quite as serious within 24 hours of this one. Russia launches 200 rockets and drones at Ukraine, hitting energy stations, with 6 people being dead. I'm not sure that that's you're allowed to do that. I don't think you're allowed to attack the infrastructure for civilians. But of course, it's Putin. He can do whatever he wants because no one says anything about it. A bit like Netanyahu, what's going on there. Are Oasis about to announce a relaunch? Well, we're going to find out. We were going to find out. And we did find out. And what we found out was, well, they're going to do something. Yeah, they're going to do. They're really large. They're having. They've got a £20. Well, Noel's got a £20 million divorce settlement to pay for, so they've decided to be friends again for a little while and make shed loads of money, and everyone's going mad for it. Mad for it. We find out on Tuesday, apparently. Tuesday, 27th, 8 a.m. Oasis have announced they're reforming to do some gigs. Yeah, okay. Tickets available on Saturday. What could possibly go wrong? Kia prepares for a painful, tells us to prepare for a painful budget. And he said it's going to be big asks to be made of the British public. You know, the British public he doesn't like. Unless, of course, you don't drink alcohol, in which case he likes you. IDF rescue an Arab Israeli out of Hamas who was kidnapped on October the 7th. He was found in a tunnel alone, so people thinking he wasn't rescued, he actually got out himself and they found him in the tunnel. But last time they found people who weren't with anyone. There were 3 of them, and the IDF shot them, and they were Israeli prisoners of, well, not even of war, prisoners of terror. Kursk region is still as Ukraine troops 4 weeks on. Russia launched more missiles again into Ukraine, and only 100 male prison places available. I wonder why. That was a call given out by the Prison Officers Association, saying the prisons are full. Yeah, so yeah, maybe we didn't lock people up who said something that upsets Keir Starmer. We'd have room to put, you know, like paedophiles and rapists and murderers in there, rather than delaying their trials. Meanwhile, Keir, sorry, on Wednesday the 28th was in Berlin to reset relations, but not, he says, because obviously he tells the truth all the time, to dismantle any part of Brexit. But he does want deeper links in science, tech, development, business, culture, and freedom of movement. But he's not getting rid of Brexit, so don't worry, folks. Brexit is still a thing. It's safe under Keir. Israel attacks West Bank. Troops stop and check ambulances. So they blow up a building. The ambulances bravely turn up to rescue the innocent people in there who've been injured. And then the Israeli troops stop the ambulances when they're on the way to the hospital to slowly check whether or not those people are actual innocent people, usually the kids and old people, or whether they're soldiers, which they can't tell because generally this is middle of the night and these people are in bed. It's not like they wear a uniform in bed and have a gun next to them. Yeah, IDF, why are we letting them get away with all this? It's unbelievable. The government hold a meeting. A what? Oh, natural awareness campaign. So they are doing something, a well-being package, and they're going to do something to help people in the winter ahead. But no sign of a U-turn on the removal of winter allowances for people whom deserve them. 3 dead at a crash in Beaumaris in Anglesey, a place I know quite well. An 11-year-old arrested in police raids over the riots, and 13 other people too. 11-year-olds, I mean, for God's sake. It was a dawn raid as well. It was a police raid for an 11-year-old. And then, meanwhile, Thursday the 29th, Zelensky F-16 jet has crashed and the pilot dead. It was quite a famous pilot. If it was a movie, it would have been Maverick out of Top Gun. He got a bit upset about it, did Zelensky. Not as much as I think the American army lent them the plane, although you're going to get this. Kamala Harris is to give a TV interview, but not on her own, with a vice presidential candidate as well. Pause in Gaza fighting to vaccinate kids against polio. The first case in 25 years of polio in Gaza has actually given the UN a reason to tell Israel to stop bombing, stop the war, and they're in there now vaccinating children against polio. A little story about polio. It was there's a guy who comes into the shop, and he's a character. I think he's great. And he said he met Ian Jury, who was a famous singer, punk singer. He did "Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick," "Hit Me, Hit Me, Hit Me Harder, Hit Me Quick, Hit Me, Hit Me, Hit Me," and "Reasons to Be Cheerful," Part 3. Yeah, so it was like late 70s, early 80s. It was around about then when he met him. He went to a gig, and he met him in the pub afterwards. Not arranged, it was just a chance meeting. And Ian Jury was famous for having had polio when he was a child, and he had a withered arm and a withered leg. This guy's words, not mine. And he went up to Ian Jury and says, "You might be interested to know, Ian, that I was the first person in the Wigan Borough to get the polio vaccination." And Ian Jury just looked at him and went, cough, "I obviously didn't, did I?" Yeah, and that was his conversation with Ian Jury. He nearly hit him with his walking stick. Hit him. Anyway, it is good that these kids are being vaccinated. The government plans to stop smoking outside pubs, in parks, etc. Stalin lives. This includes pub gardens and other anywhere outside, even nightclubs. You can't have a smoke outside, and he's extending this to vaping as well, apparently. Now, I agree with Keir Starmer. No, I agree that if it's a restaurant outside and people are smoking, then on the tables or at the tables, that's a bit disrespectful for other people who are eating there. So 100% agree with that. But if you're out in a beer garden, or if you know the Red Robin in Robin Park, ironically, they've got like a beer patio outside with the football screens up. You know, there's two big screens outside showing generally football games or rugby games or whatever, the people who can't get into the stadium, which is just down the road. And but that's completely outside. There's no food there. There's no umbrellas or anything that would hold smoke in, so I don't see a problem with people smoking in those environments. But got to remember, Keir Starmer definitely wants to control people, and I did write down here, is this another death knell in hospitality? Now, Keir Starmer is not a fan of people who like going to the pub, read between the lines, and he much prefers, it would seem, people who do not drink alcohol, teetotal people. And this may be a way of reducing the amount of opportunities people have got to socially meet and drink. I mean, obviously you've not been able to drink, you've not been able to smoke inside for a considerable length of time. I'm old enough to remember when you could smoke on the top deck of a bus, never mind anywhere else. And I even watched a programme, it was called Call My Bluff, and it was on, I think it's This TV or something like that channel, or it might have been on BBC4, I don't know. Anyway, it was Call My Bluff, and it was a TV show from like the 1970s, early 80s, and there was a guy in there who famously smoked a pipe. I mean, actually smoked a pipe all the way through it. And yeah, we've been, it is weird. Now, if people choose to smoke, I agree with Rishi's, you know, if you're 14 now, you can never legally buy cigarettes for your entire life. I kind of agree with that. But I don't agree with banning people from smoking who've been smoking for their entire life, just on a whim. Yeah, smoking is dangerous, Lainey, you're absolutely right. But it's people's choice, isn't it? We're removing this. from outside. I get it from inside. Obviously you can't smoke on buses, you can't even vape on a bus anymore, which I agree with as well. Other people still do. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. But obviously he can do whatever he wants, because he can come up with these mad scheme laws where, you know, every Wednesday you all have to be topless walking around, and anyone who isn't ends up in prison, because he's got enough MPs to vote for him. I mean, he's not going to vote for that, thank God, but it's just unbelievable. Alan, my dad died at 54, ex-smoker, but smoked a pipe. Weirdly, my grandfather, now I can never remember whether he was 94 or 96. It was one or the other. It was like 30 odd years ago. His wife, my grandma, died at the other one. So either he died at 94 and she died at 96, or the other way around. Either way, for the entire 20 odd years, nearly 30 years that he was alive, I never, ever saw him without a cigarette in his hand. Ever. And then other people, you can smoke one cigarette and drop dead. It's just weird. But yeah, it's a good thing that it's been banned indoors, but I don't see the point of it being outdoors. Mind you, Keir Starmer wanted to keep the restrictions going, didn't he, in lockdown? Hiya, Andrew. We've got much bigger problems, yeah, absolutely. Was Lucy Letby a victim of miscarriage of justice, people are now asking. Yeah, moving on. August the 30th, Friday. Labour MP is found to be renting Ilford South flats, where he is the MP, and 15 of them have got mould and are infested with ants. Yeah, these are the people who we've just voted in. Got to remember now, Labour have got away, I think he, to be fair, he might be a new MP, but Labour have got away with various little scandals and things because they've not been in government. Now all of a sudden they're in government, and people are going to be looking at them a lot more, aren't they? Angela Rayner, if that thing had come up now, she'd have to resign. But she was only like a shadow back in the day when this house thing came up. Zelensky, sex? No, he doesn't. He may do, but he didn't, this guy. He sacked the gentleman in charge of the Air Force after the F-16 crash. The Foreign Office are now saying they are deeply concerned of the IDF after the attack on the West Bank. Yeah, okay. Well, that's not going to do anything, is it? Why don't we just stop selling weapons to them so they can't murder innocent people? And we know already that the IDF, Netanyahu, they can target individual vehicles. They even joked, it was not a joking matter, but when this first kicked off and they started slaughtering people, that they've got the technology now to shoot you in the left eyeball from a very long way away without having to carpet bomb everywhere. And people have said to me, oh yeah, well, we carpet bombed Berlin, we carpet bombed Hamburg, and they carpet bombed, Manchester and London and Birmingham and all that kind of stuff back at World War II. Well, yeah, that's the only technology we had. The technology we have now, you can actually hit an individual person from a considerable distance away without actually doing much damage to the surrounding areas. There may be the odd person who gets caught up in it, but not levelling an entire country. Those days are gone. 8 days of raw sewage was poured into Windermere. It's not Lake Windermere, it's Windermere. It's a mere, it's not a lake. United Utility spokesman said they are the technology that they've got is Victorian and over 100 years old. And to be fair, the reporter said to this guy, yeah, okay, but you've been paying your shareholders millions and millions and millions of pounds in dividends for a considerable length of time and not investing in this infrastructure. And I've said many times before on this show and in the paper and everywhere else that they knew what they were buying when they bought it, and they also knew that they would have to do something to increase the ability of the systems to cope with the increased population. I mean, you look at cities like Manchester, Liverpool in the northwest, and probably other places as well, where there's all huge tower blocks gone up. I mean, particularly where the old Granada Studios used to be, and all the way up towards the M602. Loads and loads and loads of new apartments along the canal and everything. And obviously they need sewage. Now, that's just one area. The whole country is in that situation. I mean, even this thing going on with the galleries, even when they ever build it, these 400 apartments, well, that's 400 toilets. That's 800 sinks, because I imagine they've each got two, one in the kitchen, one in the bathroom. That's 400 showers and or baths. And all that water's got to go somewhere. Oh, the Victorian, bear in mind that the site they're building on was a market square before the galleries was built on it. So I doubt there's a lot of drainage for sewage and stuff like that under there. So that's going to have money spent on it. And then will the infrastructure around that area that is Victorian, will that be able to cope with this sudden influx of literally shit? And yeah, it isn't. And they've just creamed off the profits, and now they expect the British people to pay more money for a service that isn't fit for purpose. I mean, thank God we're not in the Thames water area. They're on about increasing 68% the price of their water bills over the next 5 years. 68%. Anyway, Friday the 30th still, and we're talking about Oasis. Pre-sale tickets go on resale sites for around about £6,000. Certainly the minimum you get one is 6,000. Oasis have put out a statement saying that they're going to cancel any tickets that are found to have been sold on a resale site for more than the ticket value. Obviously they won't. They're probably just naffed off because they realise now they could probably sold the tickets for £500 each and made more money themselves, and maybe be able to have a divorce each. Who knows? Saturday the 31st. Is it bad with ads tonight? Oh, hang on a minute. I'm not seeing my advert thing coming up. Where is it? Right, let's pause ads. There we go. We've delayed the ads. Obviously I need ads, but not too many of them, so they shouldn't get any more now for the rest of the show. Saturday the 31st. Police say the two stabbed and beaten at the Notting Hill Carnival Festival the previous weekend have passed away. You got to roll with it. Oh Jesus. Well, I'm not rolling with the adverts. Oasis tickets sell out. This is Saturday morning, no surprise, but many reappear on more resale sites for ticket touts for thousands of pounds. Apparently Ticketmaster, who were in charge of selling the tickets, also completely tit up. People were in a queue for ages and ages and ages, and then just kicked off the queue for no reason whatsoever, even though they were getting closer and closer and closer. It's a bit like whenever you ring up a bank or anywhere like that, and your call's very important to us. Please hold on, and you're on there for like 3/4 of an hour, and then it just cuts you off. Are the AfD in Germany, the far-right extremists, are they about to win the German elections? Well, they're not going to take power in Germany, but this has got to be a warning to people like Keir Starmer that we are not going to listen to the bullshit that they are coming out with. I am not a far-right extremist. I care for my country. I care for my fellow people who live in this country. I also care for the people who are coming over here on those boats and drowning. However, the majority of them should not be allowed into this country. We should have ways of people to being allowed into the country, and we should not put people like that ahead of people who've lived in Britain all their lives. As I said a week or two ago, or even said in, I don't know where I said it, but I said it somewhere. Oh, I think it was on the live Wigan Watch. I do believe that if you want social housing, if you can afford a house and buy a house, fair play to you, go ahead, make your day. But majority of people can't afford to buy a house. People on middle incomes and low wages. So they need to rent, or they need to buy a house that's cheap, or they need to go into social housing or council housing as it was. And I believe, regardless of your religion, your nationality, anything like that, if you went to primary school in an area, so the Wigan Borough for example, then you get extra points to push you up that list to get yourself a flat or a house or whatever you need. Obviously if you've got kids, etc., that pushes you up even further. But I do not believe that people should just be given an apartment just because they can't be asked to go anywhere else. Oh right, yeah. Just because the government can't be asked sorting them out, and now they're getting rid of them. Tories as well, they messed up with this. And Labour don't seem to be doing any better either. But anyway, we will see. Oh, that was the German elections, wasn't it? We've heard more about that, and it does seem like they're going to win quite a few bits and pieces in the elections. So it could be a bit like Reform here in the UK, who did remarkably well. Yet got very few. I said this in again after the election. Just go back and watch the ones at the election. They got like 50% of the vote and got like 5 MPs, whereas Lib Dems got 17% of the vote and got 30 odd MPs. I mean, it just doesn't work, does it really? But as I said at the time, look at the coalitions and look at the countries that have what's the word I'm looking for? Where you vote for more than one person. I can't remember what it's called now. Proportional representation. You've got that. Those countries are even worse than ours. So maybe we have got the best thing. There's just no right way of doing it. Anyway, Sunday the 1st of September. We're in September already. Month 9. This is the 9th month, folks. The 9th month. What the hell is going on? Trade unions in Israel call for a general strike after 6 more hostages' bodies were found in a tunnel. And it's the first day of the pausing of the fighting for the polio vaccinations, which is good. At least it gives people a bit of respite. But yeah, the trade unions are saying that Benjamin Netanyahu has basically let down the country, let down the hostages by basically not agreeing to anything in order to get the hostages back. And yes, the hostage situation is terrible, and you've got to feel for the families of the people who were taken hostage. I don't support Hamas in any way, shape or form. Who would? But if you're Hamas, why would you give back the hostages? If Netanyahu and the IDF are doing what they're doing now, when you've got hostages that could be anywhere, and they're just carpet bombing everywhere, why the hell would you give back all the hostages? So how the hell they're going to sort this out, I have no idea. I just fear that more innocent people are going to die. Labour won't reverse the winter payments for the OAPs because they can't afford it. I mean, they can afford to pay offer massive wage rises to various different people, and we're going to have even more taxes put on us at the is it end of this month, the end of October? End of October, which I thought was going to be the end of this month, to be fair, but anyway, it's the end of October, the budget. So yeah, people are going to just, well, die. They don't care, because let's be honest, if you take the winter payments off pensioners, a lot of them will be dead before the next election. I mean, that's just the sad way it is. So if you mess them up, they're not going to vote for you anyway, because they'll be dead. Is this how Labour work? Asking for a friend. German elections could see the rise of votes for the far right, because they're actually, it's an exit poll. Now, how many people have said that they voted for one of the main parties but actually voted for the far right because they didn't want to be called a racist? Because exit polls are always a little bit vague at the best of times, so it would be interesting to see what it would be the actual results, and no doubt we will cover that next week on this very show. This very show. Oh, hang on, something's going on. What's going on? Breaking news. Oh, German far right hails historic election victory in the East. Germany's anti-immigration alternative for Germany, AfD, is celebrating a historic success, with far right party, of course, on course for a big victory in the eastern state of Thungaria. The ADF is set to win 32.9% of the vote, according to projection of public broadcaster ARD, 9 points ahead of the conservative CDU, and far in front of Germany's three governing parties. That's the problem, you see. You've got the coalition because it's proportional representation. So you've got these governing parties who are all trying to work together, and it's not working. At least you got a notification. I did an experiment today. I took off the title to Tia Kia, because we had a very quiet one last week, and I'm like thinking, is Tia Kia now getting us blocked? Am I going to get a knock on the door from the police or the government or the MI5 or someone else saying that I'm causing trouble and I'm a conspiracy theorist? I'm like the new better looking Andrew Tate. Yeah. But no, we're at that state now, aren't we, where you don't want to say anything to anyone because they get offended. Oh no, you can't say that. Where are we up to? So hi Smiley Mac. Doesn't take much to be better looking. Well, yeah, to be fair, this camera's very flattering at this moment in time. Anyway, it is. I'm not even joking. So that was the news so far this week, up to today, the 1st of September. So now we've got the news that makes you go, ooh. I've paused the ads. Why have the ads come back on again? Right, the ads are on a 10-minute break. You won't get ads for 10 minutes, okay? No, I've turned the ads off. I've turned the ads off. They're not on. Anyway. So, yeah, let's have a look at the news that makes me go, oh. Now, how can I do this? I need to turn that off, don't I? And then I can go on to that, and then I can do, yeah, it's all a different way I'm doing it now, so it's more complex than before. Turning ads off equals ads, yeah. Welcome to the world of YouTube. It's wonderful. News. So this is news that or things that I've seen that have made me either laugh, snigger, or gone, oh my god, that's horrific. Over the last week, starting off with Australia. In Australia, what's going on here? Hang on a minute, I've got a technical issue that you can't see, but we're alright. There we go. Right to disconnect rules in effect from from today, which was earlier in the week, in Australia. So basically, new rules are coming into effect, a promise to protect some Australian employees' right to disconnect from work. But that doesn't mean you can ignore all your boss's calls. So does that mean if your boss rings up, you're legally entitled not to answer it, or does that mean you answer it and then you can sue him for ringing you up for something that wasn't important? I have no idea. Under the new rules, employees have the right to refuse to monitor, read or respond to contact or attempt to contact from employers or a third party, unless that refusal is unreasonable, like in the case of a work-related emergency. Well, now, if your boss is ringing you, how do you know whether it's just to have a chat or ask you if you've left if you turn the gas off in the kitchen or whatever, or is it an emergency, like the place is on fire, are you at home, so we don't have to look for you? Hi Elder, can you work next week? Please don't call again. Funnily enough, I get people who contact me at night about work, and I'm like, I'm not at work, I'm not Amazon, I'm not open 24 hours a day. But obviously I don't have the ability to disconnect because it's my phone and it's there all the time. So I politely tell people to contact me when I'm at work, and if they carry on, I just ban them, block them. Anyway, Employees found to be in violation of the new laws can be fined up to 18,000 Australia dollars. So yeah, which is about £8.50, I think. A dozy Wigan man who tried to rob a pizza delivery driver on his own doorstep has been jailed for 3 years. So this muppet decided to rob a pizza delivery guy, who tried to rob a pizza delivery guy who was delivering a pizza to his house. Yeah. You could say he's a few slices short of a pizza. No, okay. The price of fish and chips has risen by 50% over the last 5 years, which explains why it's become a target for thieves. And then we see a lovely picture of a seagull eating or nicking something. Did he pay for the pizza before he tried to steal it? I don't think he was stealing the pizza. I think he was trying to probably get money, because he got 3 years for it. So he was trying to get money off it. And that was probably not an arrest made under Keir Starmer. I think the price increase is a little fishy. Well, remember the old saying, it's cheap as a bag of chips? Not anymore. An 102-year-old woman becomes Britain's oldest skydiver. Minette Barley, UK's oldest skydiver. She's basically a daredevil, but 102 years old. I mean, obviously she didn't do it on her own. She was strapped onto a guy. But yeah, I wouldn't do it, and I'm nowhere near that. Kellogg's factory in Trafford Park evacuated after a fire breaks out. Thankfully it was only a minor fire. This is genius. You might have to have a read of this and wait for the penny to drop, and then I'll explain it. Hey Viva, hope you're good. It's not Guinness, it's John Smith's. They run out of Guinness at my local shop, so I'm on John Smith's. So there you go. I think that's genius. Basically it's one of these graph chart things. It's probably got a proper name, I don't know what it is. What do all these have in common? Man United, the Black Eyed Peas and Prince Andrew. And the answer is, they're all useless since Fergie left. Man United, Alex Ferguson, Black Eyed Peas, Fergie, the lead singer, Prince Andrew, Fergie. Ad. It's 10 minutes. There should be no ads. I do apologise. I'm trying to turn the ads off. Well, not off, but slow them down a bit. I do apologise. I mean, obviously we need ads, because, you know, got to earn money. But there you go. What's this one? Associated Press reported that Taliban rejects UN concerns over laws banning women's voices and bare faces in public. So basically the Taliban are now saying that women are not allowed to speak outdoors, and they must completely wear their full burqa as well, which seems reasonable. Not. And this is what always makes me snigger to myself, when you see these cardigan wearing women of a certain age holding these placards saying all migrants welcome. This is how they treat women in the countries they're coming from. Do you actually know what you're supporting here? Madness. When Volvo invented the 3-point seatbelt in 1959, they made the patent free for all competitors to use in order to save lives, because it had more value as a free life-saving tool than something to profit from. Now that wouldn't happen nowadays. Can you imagine if Apple had invented that and then you'd come up with something similar? They would sue your ass. But Volvo, particularly when I was a child and they had those basic tanks, there was a guy near us who had a Volvo Estate, and the bumper on it was about the size of Ukraine. It was just ridiculous, and they were built like a Sherman tank. And they come up with, I didn't know they'd invented the 3-point seatbelt, which we still use today in cars, in 1959. It was Niles Bohelen who developed the modern 3-point seatbelts. Although the design was patented, the company decided the patent was to be left open, making it available to all vehicle manufacturers to use for free. This rather unconventional decision was made in the greater interest of public safety, to ensure that everyone, independently whether they drove a Volvo or not, could be safer in traffic. This decision proved to be beneficial to the world. Yeah, how many of us would not be alive today because our parents, grandparents, who had a crash and were saved by the seatbelt, would have been killed without the seatbelt if Volvo hadn't have let it go free? I mean, companies wouldn't do that now. Apple, pay for the steering wheel, seat belts, all seats, all sold separately. Do you see? And what will be obsolete in 5 years? Yes, Lainey. Did you see the bus crash in Lee today? I did not, Smiley, because I've not been in Lee. Oasis reunion. The Gallaghers confirm live dates for summer 2025. Yay! Everyone's so excited. But only if you're a millennial or a boomer or a Gen X or whatever. Do you know what you are? Do you know what you are? Well, here's a handy little guide. Which is, my mother is the silent generation, apparently. I wouldn't mind, she never shuts up. And my cat is the silence. She never shuts up either. You're tired. Why are you tired? Because of the bus crash. The silent generation, 1928 to 45. Baby boomers, 46 to 64. I am literally on the cusp of baby boomer and Gen X, which is 65 to 80. Millennials, which is my daughter, 81 to 96. Gen Z, or Gen Z, 97 to 2012. And Gen Alpha, early 10s to now. So if you're under the age of 11, you're a Gen Alpha. 12 to 27, you're a Gen Z. A millennial is 28 to 43. Gen X is 44 to 59. Baby boomers is 60 to 78. And the silent generation, 79 to 96. That lady was 102. She's nothing. She doesn't exist anymore. Lane is a Gen X. Oh, get you. Get you. Yeah. Although I wouldn't want to be Gen Alpha. Just sounded mad. Yeah, there you go. There's some very steep stairs there, but don't worry. If you look carefully, you can see they built a ramp for wheelchairs. What could possibly go wrong? The only thing I can think of when I see that is the Laurel and Hardy with the piano. Two killed in plane tyre explosion in the United States. This is reported in Australia. 2 airline staff have been killed and another seriously injured during a maintenance check of a Boeing plane in the United States. The explosion happened at a Delta Airlines facility at Atlanta Airport, where repair work is performed for more than 150 other airline customers worldwide. Yeah, I can only assume it was either they were pumping the tyre up and it just blew, or it was something to do with oil pressure for the pneumatics or whatever, but either way, tragic circumstances. Dion Duggan was the youngest US Marine drill instructor. He served 3 tours in Vietnam, was wounded several times and retired as a major in 1977. Throughout his career, he managed to keep secret that he had been the voice of Bambi in the 1942 Disney film. I mean, that's a pretty cool secret to keep, but you can imagine, he's a drill instructor. He did 3 tours of Vietnam, Saigon. He was wounded several times and became a major. Can you imagine if he'd let slip that he was the voice of Bambi in the original movie? He would never have go anywhere to like him. Billy Idol, Gen X. Yeah, Generation X, you're right. Boy accidentally breaks a rare artifact. A 4-year-old boy has accidentally knocked over and broken a 3,500-year-old picture jug dating back to the Middle Bronze Age at a museum in Israel. The picture dates back to the year 15 to 2200 BC, and they were used to store and transport oil and wine, with conservation efforts now underway to restore it. Well, good luck with that. The boy's father told the BBC he was relieved to learn the item could be restored, but is sorry that it will no longer be the same. Lucky it wasn't you, Andrew. I think you're missing the point. I thought this was fake at first, and then you said Israel. Yeah, it must be true. Yeah, absolutely. And the BBC as well, because they don't lie. The big changes boosting your bank account in Australia. There's a glimmer of hope on the horizon for households amidst the persistent cost of living crisis. Relief payments from the federal government, winter payments, will start flowing into bank accounts next month, offering reprieve from the 300 power bill payments to be sent in 4 quarterly $75 credits. So basically, Australians are getting $300 Australian dollars, so that's about £3.50, in payments, 4 quarterly payments of $75, which is about $7, to help with fuel costs in Australia. Meanwhile, in Britain, we're taking it away from the people who need it the most, the elderly, because that's what we do under Labour. He said, vote for change. Tosser. I love him, really. Now this, if you watch my driving videos, this is Stellar Bridge Suites in Sao Paulo. Imagine this, a week next to some of Sao Paulo's best restaurants, shopping centres and peaceful parks, plus a few afternoons enjoying the outdoor pool and soaking in these reviews. Meet us there? Yeah, it's lovely. I can tell you what, it's not Stellar Bridge where my mum lives and I go visiting every week. I wish it was, that'd be cool. Okay, you take care, have a safe trip, Angela. Breaking news, you know I only follow F1, it's the only sport I'm really into. Fantastic race today. This season has been brilliant. I mean, last few seasons it's been Max Verstappen, previous to that it was Lewis Hamilton, previous to that it was Sebastian Vettel, previous to that it was Mick Schumacher. This year we've had how many different winners? 5, 6 different winners, and you don't know who's going to win the race. It's just fantastic, really, really good racing. Anyway, yes, Williams Racing have announced Logan Sargent will be replaced with immediate effect for the remainder of the season by Franco Colapinto. Logan Sargent's an American driver, and we've got 2 races in America coming up, so that's not going to go down well with the Americans, is it? But he did completely destroy the Williams car, and they're not a rich company, at the previous race of this weekend, last week. So a young kid is taking over for the remainder of the season, probably their 3rd driver next year as well. And what got me was the leader, not the leader, the guy who runs the team, was asked why he didn't choose Mick Schumacher. And he said if we chose Mick Schumacher, he was actually in the Williams Mercedes programme. If we chose Mick Schumacher, he would be a good racer, not a great racer. Ooh. Anyway, he's apologised for making that comment, but I thought it was hilarious because it's true. This pub was built around 800 years ago. The stone goes all the way down to the foundations in the cellar. So this pub has been built with a stone that was placed by probably a Neolithic man 800 years ago. So we didn't have, like conservation or anything back then. In fact, it's a miracle they didn't just knock the thing down. Although why they didn't build a pub, like 20 foot one way or the other, so that the pill would be outside. But in a way, it's probably saved it from destruction, because that doesn't look like a natural stone to me. The Wendy's Sauce Nuggets necklace is basically a mini Ferris wheel that carries Wendy's Sauce Nuggets to your mouth while you're gaming. IGN asks, is it unnecessary? Yep, but it's real and you can get one for a limited time. I mean, to me that just looks like dirty shirt time. It's called saucynuggetnecklace.com. I don't know where that pub is, actually, to be fair. Herbdom.com. If you go on herbdom.com, you'll probably find that, and it'll probably tell you more about where it was. I just thought it was an interesting photograph. Hi, Kelly, Stephen and Rollo. Hey, don't worry. A lot of people didn't get notifications last week and whatnot. So yeah, don't worry. It was a bad week last week. We're having a better week this week. Indian Hills Community Centre, and they're saying ban pre-shredded cheese. Make America great again. Now in America, grated cheese that you buy in a bag is called shredded cheese. So yeah. Ban pre-grated cheese, make America great again. So if you want it, you have to grate. Genius. I do like it when they do stuff like that. Now, Elon Musk has kind of become, I don't know what he's become. Weird. He's already weird. But I mean, he's weird. I was gaming last night. I did Small Kitty, Big City. Anyway, Elon Musk has been demonstrating his Cybertruck thing, that stainless steel wannabe DeLorean monstrosity that he brought out, and how strong it is by towing a trailer with a jet engine on it. You're like, wow, that's impressive. Until you see the other picture, which is a $2,500 Chevy in 1972 towing the entire jumbo jet. So yeah, Cybertruck's towing a jet engine, cost 100 grand, and the Chevy 1972 towing the entire jumbo jet. Yeah. Progress is so good, isn't it? Now, I like Elon Musk. He's gunning for Starmer. he's off his trolley, definitely. This is genius. We are in Yorkshire. So this sign means no motor vehicles on this road except for access. So you can live on the road or something like that. But someone's put except for Evel Knievel, because it does look like the motorbike is jumping over the car. For those Gen Zs out there, Evel Knievel was a stunt motorbike rider from America who basically was not very good. Mind you, he was better than our guy. What was our guy called? Who, I think he's still with us, but he's in a wheelchair now. But it was just, every time he did it, you kind of grimacing because you knew it was going to end badly for him. Eddie Kidd, that's the one. Yeah, he's in a wheelchair now. That's Barry Sheen. That was the motorbike driver. Kelly, this is random. I got a joke. My mate asked me if I'm getting an Oasis tickets. I said, maybe. Anyone have the Evil Knievel stunt bike thing that was about that big with like an action man on it, and you had this weird contraption where you wound it up and it shot off? And because my mate, the blonde-haired kid who I used to hang around with when I was a kid at infant school and primary school and junior school, he had all, one reason I go out with him because he had all the bloody toys, and we had an Evil Knievel, but we never got it working properly, mainly because we lived on a street where the thing was like that, and there was curbs and pavements and things, so we never had the big open space to do anything with it. Mr. Sheen gets umpteen things clean. Andrew Everson, I had that. Viva Mark, love that. Yeah, they were cool. There's still people doing videos on them nowadays when they find them somewhere, and they still work well. Sometimes they need to be a little bit done up, but they do seem to be going okay. Ah, yeah, there you go. He had one. Everyone's had one, except me. Unless you were my friend when I was at school. Maybe. Maybe. It's just an amazing picture of an alligator with both its front paws on the side of, I assume it's some kind of pier or something similar, and it's got words above it saying, "I'm here for the Border Patrol job." Border Patrol is bad everywhere at the minute, and I think we should take him on. Why not? Can't do any worse than anything else. And this is a cute picture as well. I came home to this today. I only own the dog. Well, you don't technically own it. The dog chooses to live with you. But it's a dog, all nice and cosy, sat on the front doorstep with a cat and a deer, randomly. Just all sat there looking at this person coming back after work, one assumes. And this is confusing, isn't it? Wood chopping board. Do not use as a chopping board. Wipe clean only. Wipe up spills immediately to avoid staining. Do not soak. Do not use as a chopping board. Manufactured in China for Dunelm Soft Furnishings Limited. Yeah, a chopping board that you can't use as a chopping board. No, you can't chop on the board. No. It's a wood chopping board that you can't chop on. It's a bit like Peter Kay's tour that didn't tour, or a bit like the Wigan Council market car park, not a car park. It's a wood chopping board that you cannot use as a chopping board. No, you can't use it as a, you can't chop with it. You can't use it as a chopping board. You can't use it to chop. You can't chop on the chopping board. You can't do anything with it whatsoever. You cannot use it as a chopping board. It is, if you read what it's called a wood chopping board. You know, come on. But remember, you can't use it in any way, shape or form in chopping things. Okay. It's like ordering a bag of chips, but without the chips. I suppose. I think I've shown this one a while ago, but it was a long while ago, and it made me laugh this week, so I thought, we'll show it again. Dave was starting to think his mum wasn't coming back. Which is... It's all about the angles, isn't it? Genius. Slicing board. Oh, it's slicing. Well, it would be a slicing board, wouldn't it? It says it's a chopping board. It doesn't say it's a slicing board. And you can't get it wet. Remember. So maybe we've just put sand on it. There you go. But yeah, that's just brilliant angling from whoever took the picture. But yeah, Dave was starting to think his mum wasn't coming back. Oh, I do like that one. Did make me laugh. Not something I've ever thought about, but here we go. In case you ever wondered what a pregnant squirrel looks like. Here's our favourite Labour MP, who's got people living in unsuitable apartments. A UK Labour MP rents out flats with black mould and ant infestations, with tenants who say they're free for eviction if they complain about it. He's blamed the tenancy agency that is used and has since sacked them, and he's told his tenants that they can get in contact with him and he will fix the problems, and if they've had to pay for them, the problems getting fixed, he will reimburse them as long as they've got a receipt, so he can claim it against expenses. Mel B switches on the Blackpool Illuminations. I went a couple of years ago, they were shit. Yeah, disgraceful. I mean, why didn't they have all the Spice Girls there? Your guide to buying Oasis tickets. So if you missed out, you should have read this beforehand. Register and verify your account. Add your credit card details to your account. Set your alarm. Ensure optimum Wi-Fi connection. So turn everything else off apart from the device you're using. Don't refresh your browser. Remain calm. Visualise yourself at the show. Turn Radio X on because you ain't getting them. How to get round Keir Starmer's Stalinistic anti-smoking thing that he's doing. So this is the smokers' hiding place. Entrance hidden by bricks and rubble. It's 6 foot down. You've got an air vent so you don't suffocate. You've got a fan, and if you like the bottom of this, you can safely smoke without the woke police coming up and arresting you and putting you in jail for 2.5 years. I think someone misunderstood this sign in America. Go hands-free now. It's the law starting tomorrow. Obviously referring to mobile phones in America or Canada. And there's a Hell's Angel type guy on a motorbike riding under the sign with both his hands up in the air. It's like, no, no, no. Only in America. Oh, the Oasis thing. Well, they're saying it's not being televised. Hiya, Flink. Unattended children will be given a Red Bull and taught how to swear. And this is company policy in a pub where they're obviously fed up with kids running riot. I mean, obviously, you can't legally do that. But that's, really good. Now remember this photograph, and I was on about camera angles being perfect for that picture, and it's hilarious. Sometimes camera angles can make things look, well, not right. And I'll be honest, it makes this person look very much like me. Never let an elbows ruin your photo. And that's technically what I look like. Without the hair, obviously, and the glasses. But yeah, that's someone's elbow, not her nose. Or their nose. Let's not presume. Meanwhile, tickets to Oasis. Already got them, mate. I organise a reunion. Jay from In-Betweeners, who may or may not be having a comeback. I don't think it's going to work. I think they're better off doing In-Betweeners again in about another 10, 12 years, when they've all got kids who are In-Betweeners and they're the parents. I think that's the only time it'd ever work, because they're not In-Betweeners anymore now. They're all like 20-year-old men, or even getting off for 30-year-old men. But yeah, do it again when they're old enough to be parents, and then they can be the parents suffering the way that their parents suffered when they were that age. Although, to be fair, we probably won't be allowed to have comedies back then, in the future, I mean. Hi Kim, welcome. I ain't afraid of no goats. Who you gonna call? Goat's butter. Just made me laugh. It's completely silly, it doesn't even make sense. But you know. Oasis tickets relisted for £6,000 minutes after pre-sales. Noel and Liam will perform at 17 shows next year. I wonder if they do them all. Sold out. Cardiff Principality Stadium, Manchester Heaton Park, London Wembley Stadium, Edinburgh Scottish Gas Murrayfield Stadium, and Dublin Crook Park, but they're not doing one in Belfast. So why they're going? Obviously, they are part of the reunification of Ireland, or not? Yeah, as we control it, it doesn't make sense. The man known as the undisputed voice of club music, Fat Man Scoop, has died after collapsing on stage. He only had, well, as far as I'm aware, he only had one massive hit, which I've heard quite a lot of in the last couple of days, but I can't remember what it was called. It's also that time when videos were a bit shit as well. Now, we all know that people like writing and drawing like willies and things like that on the back of dirty vans and on windows of cars and things like that. And then they also say, you know, my other van is clean, and you know, amusing stuff like that. And that's usually a transit van or a Mercedes Sprinter or something like that. But if you've got an Iveco, well, things can be a lot worse. I only assume that's referring to the white van man driver, the white van man driver, because they are all exactly that. Rare footage of a lefty training camp from MrGibberish.com. Yeah, the lefties just got their head in the sand, whereas us lot, who are not all far right, but certainly a bit more awake, know what's going on. We've got an idea what's going on around us. Possibility of human-made meteor shower after NASA's DART spacecraft collision. Now, rocky debris blasted away from the tiny asteroid Dimorphos when NASA's DART spacecraft intentionally slammed into it in 2022 could create the first human-made meteor shower a new study has found. Scientists estimated the collision generated nearly 1 million kilograms of rocks and dust, which could reach Earth's atmosphere within 10 years and continue to arrive intermittently for the next 100 years. Now, I said at the time, why the f*** are we sending basically a missile to hit a meteorite that's got nothing to do with Earth whatsoever in order to see if we can move it or not? And they're like, well, nothing's going to happen, it'll be alright. Well, I'm sorry, if the debris is going to reach Earth and end up being meteor showers, what's to say the bloody meteorite that wasn't going to be, the meteor even, wasn't going to be hitting us, asteroid, wasn't going to hit us, but now will hit us? It's insanity. It laughs, under pressure we're breaking. Can I give myself one more chance? Now this is a weird one. Humans could live forever as death is reversible and brains are salvageable. Expert Sam Parana became obsessed with the subject of death back in 1994 when a man he had been chatting with just an hour earlier suddenly flatlined in hospital where he was working. Yeah, but I mean, it's, you know, it's great that we can cure cancer, well, not cure it, but certainly delay it, and maybe cure it in some places. We can, you know, you can have operations to have new heart, lungs. They can build like new arms and things like that. They can even transplant hands on people and faces on people as well. All amazing. But if the brain goes, and the brain is the thing that tends to go, then what is the point? I don't get it. Although I'm getting to the age now where I think about death all the time and I'm terrified of it. There was a book out at present, this guy, on about death. Dr. Death. Calling Dr. Death. Da 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 Dr. Death. Ain't they calling Dr. Death? Yeah. Yeah, it's weird though, isn't it? Because it's the brain that goes. You know, it's like, if you look at the, what's it called? Futurama. The cartoon from a while ago. And there's all these brains in jars, and they're all like famous people, like ex-President Nixon and you know, stuff like that, and they're all chatting shit to each other, or they're getting involved in the thing. And it's just like, do you want to really be a brain in a jar? Or something equivalent? I mean, if they could transplant your brain and all your thoughts and everything into something else without damaging it, then great. but they'd have to do it at a fairly young age because, you know, you get more forgetful the older you get. It's quite disturbing, really. Prince Andrew is on the verge of being kicked out of home into new Bolthold cottage. Why don't they just kick him out on the verge? Hashtag just saying. Iconic UK high street brand saved, but stores remain closed for good. Ted Baker has been saved from disappearing altogether, a bit like Debenhams, after another company stepped up to keep the company going with an online presence. But all the stores will remain closed, so it's just going to be like Boohoo, although I don't think they've got any money at the minute, buying the brand and then just selling the clothes online. Why not just kick him? Okay. 1/3 of Brit lovers share toothbrushes and socks in strange love rituals. A new survey by British jewellery brand Clogu has found that it's not just hoodies that people are likely to borrow from their other halves, as Brits admit to sharing some rather intimate items. Now, I don't even leave, when I've been living with people, I don't even leave my toothbrush in the bathroom. I hide it. I'm not sharing that with anyone. Jesus. I was one of them kids at school who wouldn't, you know, when someone's got some bubbly gum or some chewing gum or whatever, and one of the kids said, "Oh, give us a bit," and they go, "Hey, you bite a bit," and then said, "Do you want some?" I'm like, "Oh, God, no, why would I want that?" I was a bit of germaphobe. And socks, I mean, if they've been washed, that doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, I wouldn't wear anyone's socks. I don't even wear my socks 2 days on the trot. Shared a bath. Well, yeah, that's different, isn't it? But not a toothbrush. No, that's just disgusting. Blah. Lab-grown chicken. Cruelty-free, safe, healthy, environmentally friendly, apparently. Eat meat with a clear conscience. And this is cultured meat. Britons could soon be dining on bugs, fungus and meat grown in labs in a new drive. A total of £15 million has been provided by the UK's Innovation Agency, IKRI, for the newly formed National Alternative Protein Innovation Centre in a bid to overturn eating trends. There's a lot of innovation going on there, isn't there? Would you eat a lab-grown chicken? I'd probably have a nibble, but whether I go, you know, and eat it all, I'm not so sure. Blokes in nose-diving plane snapped photographed looking jaded after aircraft crashes on a road. Yeah, you would look jaded, wouldn't you, if you just survived an air crash? An eyewitness claimed the aircraft looked like it stalled and nosedived onto the main road between Cirencester and Stroud, as the occupants were photographed looking dazed. This was on Farming Today last week. Oh, I'd rather starve. You might not have a choice. We can't all eat vegetables. We can't all eat vegetables. Can we? No. Oasis' biggest fan has Liam Tats, £12,000 worth of merch and a master plan. For tickets. Oasis are getting back together and one of their biggest superfans will do anything it takes to bag a ticket or multiple for their 2025 comeback. I'm sorry, that guy just looks like a very sad, lonely man. Sorry. No. Oh, another maybe joke. He was asked if he was the biggest fan and he said maybe. I dare say there are bigger fans than that. Bitcoin. Hello, welcome. Didn't see you sneak in there. We've had a few different chatters. Don't forget, you can join in the chats. You can agree, disagree, doesn't really matter. Just get talking about stuff, get your mind thinking about stuff that's going on as well. Except for this nonsense. Space boffins issue alert on slightly worrying intergalactic alien Star Wars. So it's only slightly worrying. Sridhara Samantha, the aerospace engineer driving India's lunar explorations, said there are definitely ETs out there in the universe, and some of them might be at war with each other. Well, maybe. Okay. Dogs can understand human words, claims boffin who studied viral videos. Oh, for God's sake. My cat understands human words. Not many, I admit. But aren't dogs famous for understanding words and getting things? They say that cats and dogs have the intellect of a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, something like that, or maybe an 18-month-old, something like that, a baby. But they do understand basic commands. So if I say food, she'll go to a food bowl, as long as I'm not trying to film her. If I say out, she'll go to the back door. If she is out and I count down 3, 2, 1, she'll be in before it gets down to 1, because she knows what's happening. If I come upstairs during the day or at night, like I've done tonight, although she's outside, she will follow me upstairs. If I say night-night before I come upstairs, she will not follow me upstairs because she knows she's not allowed in the bedroom. When I go out to work, I say, I'll see you later. And if I am going to the shop, I'll see you in a bit. Now, whether she understands them two or not, I don't know. But I have noticed, if I say, see you in a bit, before I've gone out of the way, she's sat on the windowsill. If I say, see you later, she's not sat on the windowsill. I'm going to have to go now, guys. Driving to Preston early morning. Enjoy the rest of the show, everyone. Thanks, Elder. No worries. My cat understands the word for... Yeah, of course they do. Are you taking Angela? Well, hey. Driving to Preston early morning. It's only 16 miles. Anyway, have a safe trip. Where's my mouse not working? There it is. But experts found that pups trained with soundboard buttons could understand specific words and produce appropriate responses. All right, okay. So these are cats and dogs that actually can reply. Well, it's just basically, they're not replying. If you say, who's a good boy, and then you've told it to put its paw or nose, the red button, and it says, I'm a good boy, then it's not replying, I'm a good boy. It's just because you said that, it does that. Fuming. Oasis reunion tour ticket scam warning. The 4 signs fans must look out for. Barclays Insight show that ticket scams cost victims an average of £243 each, with purchase scam reports increasing year on year in 2023 as your Oasis reunites even for a huge tuller. Yeah, she hasn't quite got the sitting thing yet, to be fair. Where are we up to? Where are we up to? Oh, we're up to that one. There's too many Noel and Liam Gallagher pictures. Michael Jackson's chimp, Bubbles, now huge and ugly in new life out of spotlight. Michael Jackson's pet chimp, Bubbles, was once one of the most famous animals on the planet, but now aged 41, lives a much quieter life at a sanctuary in Florida. Huge and ugly. It's 41 years old. It's a chimpanzee. That's equivalent of being about 17 human years. So of course it's old and huge and ugly. It's what we all get to when we get to that age. Yeah, Michael was there forever. Well, he's not anymore. Shark decapitates teen swimming in holiday hotspot as limbs wash up one by one. The body of a 16-year-old Yami Reed was discovered by divers with his head and left arm missing. The student remains were found in waters the north of the island, according to authorities. Yeah, horrific for the family, and horrific for anyone swimming there as well. But would you swim with sharks? No. Furry animals must be free to save the world, battling killer floods and famine. Rob Stoneman, Director of Landscape Recovery at the Wildlife Trust, said that the benefits of beavers are widely acknowledged and well evidenced. Can't argue with that. But the reintroduction of the species has stalled. That's because people have taken now to shaving them, and they just get hypothermia and die in the water. So yeah, it is right though that beavers do good work in rivers by producing dams. The dams then create wetlands, which encourage insects and various other animals to go there. It also stops floods, stops the flow of water going down after heavy rain, etc. So maybe the water companies should be employing beavers. Hashtag just saying. Very good mammal, a beaver. Linus's Humpty Dumpty went for a swim. Humpty Dumpty was bitten by a shark, and the beachgoers and his family took a... Oh, no. Linus caged in war-torn Ukraine, rescued and brought to UK for safety. A dramatic rescue by the Big Cat Sanctuary based near Ashford in Kent saw Una evacuated through 6 countries over 5 days, and she now has a new home in the UK. Another illegal immigrant. Someone will say that. Kim Jong-un bans ponytails in latest despotic North Korean crackdown. According to North Korean local radio station, the latest prohibitions are being enforced because see-through sleeves and ponytails obscure the image of socialist system. So yeah, Kim Jong-un is telling people they can no longer have ponytails. I mean, you know, give that guy grey hair and we've got and lose about half his body weight, and we've got Keir Starmer. That's where we're going, folks. This is Liam again. Does that mean every pony in the country has to have their tails removed? You know what, it wouldn't surprise me. Oasis can save the world and must play on Ukraine-Russia border, a viral band says. Oasis should play a concert for peace on the Ukraine-Russian border, and then maybe they should head for the Middle East. There is nothing that music can't achieve, says Tribute Act. Yeah, that's a no from me. A man gets the shivers after making creepy discovery in garden right near a bedroom. When a man moved into his new home, he decided to clear some leaves out of the garden. He probably wishes he didn't though. He made a creepy discovery. Yeah, he was actually dead and in a cemetery somewhere. I think they put the wrong picture with that one. Which made me laugh. Oh, someone who doesn't make me laugh. Brits set to work less as Labour considers 4-day week. The law is being pushed by Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner and is understood to have been formulated through working closely with trade unions and businesses. I mean, what a load of bollocks. I mean, Keir Starmer said when he was heading up to be Prime Minister, he was going to finish work at 6 o'clock because he wants to be with his family. Well, that's fair enough. Don't go for a job that is a 24-hour day, 7-day week job. Stay with your family, put your family first. He's not putting the country first though, is he, at the minute? She always looks like that. She's just realised she's got ginger hair. Very silly 7-word text that saw a bloke busted for stealing a gorilla statue. Remember a couple of years ago? Matthew Newbold, 33, pleaded guilty on Friday to stealing a 20-kilogram garden ornament named Gary from the site in Melbourne, Australia in June after police found incriminating texts. There's a band who brought a pretty good record out called Gary, and it's actually the story of Gary being stolen and being seen on various roads wrapped in and then just disappearing. What was it? Oh, was it the Blossom? Was it Blossoms? It might be Blossoms or Doves or someone, I'm not sure. Proposed smoking ban could mean extinction for pubs and booze could be next, which is the big thing, isn't it? Keep at home, don't go out. We want to control you completely. So yeah, shut the pubs. You won't be able to drink alcohol in the pubs. You'll get bored of drinking alcohol on your own, so you won't drink alcohol, and then you won't be able to. It's the way it's going. Following the 2007 indoor smoking ban, there was a 6.4% jump in the closure rate of pubs in the UK. and now it's feared the latest restriction could have a similar effect. I would imagine it would have a bigger effect, to be fair, because people are spending more money on the gardens now and buying posher barbecues, etc. Jeremy Clarkson slams Starmer over smoking ban as he warns meat will be next. The Clarkson Farm star has hit out at the Prime Minister over plans to ban smoking in outdoor areas of pubs, saying it is a Stalinist decree, and he fears meat will soon be banned to appease vegans. Yeah, Keir Starmer is he's making a lot of enemies at the moment. Liam and Noel Gallagher got hooked on meth by mistake before a shambles gig. Liam and Noel Gallagher got accidentally hooked on crystal meth after mistaking it for another drug, and it resulted in one of their worst live performances of all time. Who'd have thought taking meth would make you shit at playing in a band, even if you are the Oasis. Harry wants UK return and asks former aides to bring him in from the cold. The Duke of Sussex is thought to have sought advice from trusted former aides, and sources say a UK return could be on the cards after he quit the firm and moved to the US with his wife Meghan Markle in 2020. So I said from day one, Meghan Markle is the Yoko Ono of the royal family. Not that I have a lot of time for the royal family, it's just two brothers feuding at the end of the day, and that's never nice for anyone. Kim Jong-un compared to Tubby, Lord of the Rings character on horseback snaps. Don't think that's what he was going for. A blistering article has re-emerged following reports North Korea received a luxury shipment from Russia in exchange for weapons. And yeah, he's basically doing like Vladimir Putin does, although Vladimir Putin is braver, he does it bare-chested. Kim Jong-un, who's a lot younger, less than half the age I think, has got sturdy boots on and a very, very, very sturdy fur-lined collared coat even. Quite interesting, and not another teen movie, was released as Non en un'altra stupida commedia americana, which means not another stupid American comedy, which I think is brilliant. Poor horse's legs. Yeah. And then finally, and then this is genius as well. If you have a stain on your shirt, outline the stain with a pen, give it a name, and this will make it seem like you visited a random island. I mean, yeah, maybe get a decent haircut as well though. Nice touches there. And that brings us to breaking news. Breaking news is where we look at the news that's occurred whilst I've been looking at the news. I mean, it doesn't get more breaking than this, does it? Except some weeks it's like you get edges off. Anyway, we're updating. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. There we go. A woman charged with murder after dead of delightful determined little boy in Wales. Oh, that's not nice. Labour panic as Rachel Reeves tries to defuse winter fuel fury with a 4K pension offer. Well, wouldn't it be cheaper just to keep the fucking thing the same as it was? I mean, these people have got no idea. And they're in charge of the country now with a majority. They had 1 million less votes and they've got a super majority pretty much. And they don't know their arse from the fucking elbow. I don't normally swear on this thing, but I tell you what, it's really pissing me off. Anyway, let's carry on. Ozempic and Wegovy can supercharge weight loss and even defy gravity? No? What was it defy? Aging. Oh, but can it say the NHS? No. Hundreds of dangerous cyclists run red lights and nearly hit public at a London junction. Well, they do it at every junction all over the place. They think they are God's gift. Sorry, Cornwall cyclist, if you're on. But it's true. UK authorities expecting huge immigrant surge, and why wouldn't they? Tiny Cornish village for sale for £725,000. Be warned, it's smaller than you think. Yeah, it's a model village. $750,000 for a model village. Someone has said Labour's tax agenda is raving bonkers. Yeah, because they don't know what they're fucking doing, that's why. Earl Grey tea warning, as popular drink can have unpleasant side effects. Families call for complete halt of Israel after hostage deaths. German far-right win first state elections since the Nazi era. This is where the lefties are pushing us. I don't want to go there, but that's where they're pushing us. 3 children aged under 4 and a man found dead in a Surrey house. Again, another tragedy. Clicked on that then, come on. The Cure star diagnosed with rare and aggressive form of cancer. Oh dear. I like the Cure. Mother killed in Notting Hill Carnival, attacked was a beautiful soul. We mentioned that earlier on. Oasis surge could topple Sabrina Carpenter from the top of the UK. Who? Pilot dies after light aircraft crashes into industrial estates. Croydon house fire, police investigate after man found dead following a blaze. Russian spy whale is found dead in Norway. So random new stuff that's gone on. What's the Cure one though? I'm a bit concerned about that. Hello? Thank you. No, I didn't want to do that. Got a big picture of Keir Starmer now. God, that was unnecessary. Hello? Why is my PC just going very, very, very slow? Met Office issues yellow weather warning as heavy rainfall and thunderstorms are to batter the UK. Disaster for Labour as tax plans see support from UK businesses leaders plummet. So even the businesses don't agree with all this. Reform UK set to smash through Labour heartlands as Starmer's tax policies cut his lead to 4% in opinion polls. Oh dear. And where is the Tories in all this? They've just vanished. Right, I think we're nearly done. Yeah, this whole thing is an absolute disaster. Oh, it's a keyboard player of The Cure. Oh, that's horrible. So yeah. Oh, very important news. Breaking news. Breaking news. Oh, for God's sake, it's done it again. There's a road in Cambridge which is going to be closed for roadworks. So I'll just let you know. Okay then. And that, ladies and gentlefolk, and anyone else, is the week's news review thing. Our highest number of people was 14, so it's got back up again. Last week was dreadful. Only had 7 likes, which is a bit disappointing, but it is a politically based show, and not everyone agrees with my political opinions, which is fine. That's what politics is about. We're meant to argue, or discuss, not argue necessarily. We've had, how many have we had? We've had 65 people watching, average is 11 minutes 49 seconds, which is pretty good. Bear in mind most people are on and off in about a nanosecond. I remember watching a couple of years ago now, there was a teenager with his girlfriend on a bus, and they were sat a couple of seats in front of me but to the side, and I could see the phones, and they were literally, they scroll up on TikTok or whatever, and it'd be something that'd be on for like 1 second, they'd scroll on, next one, 1 second, scroll on, next one, and she was doing the same thing, and I'm like, wow, the attention span of these people, it's amazing. Anyway, Angela Allen both gone to bed because they're both up early in the morning. Coincidence. Lainey, big shout out to you. Andrew Emerson, scrolling down. Viva Mark, So yeah, we covered a lot of topics tonight, and with my usual degree of sarcasm. Smiley Mac, Kelly, Buxton, Stephen and Rollo. Viva Mark we've already done. Andrew we've already done. Flink, Kim Braid. Anyone else? I think we've got a couple of Bitcoin Wolf Club. T. Thank you very much for this. Don't forget, we try and do this every week if we can, and generally we can. And all being well, I will see you again next week with better lighting, so I don't need this thing on my back to stop the this weird effect we've got going on. So yeah, look after yourself. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Well, yeah, doesn't limit it really. Oh, Michael Creeby, hello. See, even last minute, you still get a shout out. So I'll be seeing you. Until next time.